It amazes me how forgiving the idiots over at the Wrestling Observer are about AEW and their snafus, their constant snafus with booking and with production. This is WCW 2000 type shit. And Dave says it's not, but it is. Here is them talking about, I did a video earlier. It shows you how delusional this guy is. I did a video earlier where he thinks Triple H is putting himself in the Hall of Fame. He thinks Triple H is that egomaniacal. But here's Bryan Alvarez, Dave's partner, talking about a commentary snafu with Excalibur and them rolling the wrong footage for him and feeding it. Just go, well, here, listen, we'll talk about it.
And we'll talk about the Collision spoilers in a while, but if you were watching the show, and there was another, it was right before the Hobbs thing. It was really weird because they go to a recap, and Excalibur says, "Let's go to footage from this past Saturday," and then he pauses and he goes, "Actually, it was 1 week from today," which of course would have been Dynamite.
Wednesday.
And it's actually, the footage was from the 18th, and it's footage of Hobbs winning the 12-man tag, which they should have shown last week, but they didn't. So they showed it this week, which was good, but the problem was, as they're showing it, Excalibur is talking about the Hobbs Big Bill match and the bloody violence and everything, and the table and everything, and he's talking about all this stuff, and they didn't show us any footage of that. So my guess is that's probably what the footage was supposed to be, but then when they couldn't get that segment set up because Hobbs was hurt, instead they showed this recap of a different thing, and so Excalibur was talking about something that wasn't on the screen. But it was weird.
So that whole snafu tells me that people are feeding the wrong stuff into his earpiece. Whether it be the production truck, or whether it be Tony Khan, or whether it be both. So it tells me that they don't have their shit together. And the whole reason for this was because they were supposed to have a match with Hobbs, and Hobbs got injured and couldn't get cleared to wrestle last night. So they had to daggone rewrite the entire show. How long in advance did they know this guy wasn't cleared? They did film an interview segment with him. You're telling me that you can't rewrite? This is Vince McMahon type stuff. Guys, Tony Khan is the new Vince McMahon. We need to face that fact. He's rewriting the shows on the fly. Yes, I know an injury puts you out like that, but come on. How far in advance did you know about this injury? There's no excuse for this. None whatsoever. You should know before you go on the air what your matches are. You should know hours in advance who's injured, who's not. You should also then know, okay, we got to pad some stuff out here. But no, they decided to run a bunch of video packages at the end of the show hyping shit up for Grand Slam and all that mess that nobody's going to watch. Because that's another thing that Meltzer and them talked about. Oh, they're going to get a huge lead in from the NBA because the NBA is going to go straight from the All-Star stuff to Collision. Dude, it's going to end up just like it always does. They're going to get a huge lead in like they do from the Big Bang Theory. And then once daggone people realize, oh, shit, it's the crappy wrestling, they're going to turn it off. They may get a first good quarter hour, and it doesn't matter if you have Ospreay and Kenny Omega versus the damn Don Callis family in the opening match. It does not matter. I'm wondering how many daggone production snafus they're going to have in Australia, even though they got a 20-hour head start on production. This is WCW 2000 level bad. Here is them again now talking about the whole angle with, or the whole storyline with Ospreay and Omega versus the Don Callis family. Apparently that continued last night, but listen to this snafu now.
The show opened up with Will Ospreay and Brian Cage, which was a very good opener, excellent TV match. You had Don Callis out there, and he's trying to beat on Bryan or Will Ospreay behind the referee's back, and the fans are yelling at him, and he gets worked over for a long time, and then finally Will makes a big comeback, and Archer distracts him, and Cage ends up hitting a lariat on the apron, hits a Liger bomb in the ring. Ospreay kicked out of that. Middle rope F5. Ospreay gets the foot on the ropes. Lance shoves the foot off right in front of the referee. The referee actually is going to eject him, but he doesn't. And so Ospreay then sends Cage into Archer, flips over on a lariat, hits a Styles Clash, and pins him. So after the match, Archer's beating him up, and they remind us, it was really weird. Before the match...
Well, they did an entry angle before the match.
Yes, before the match, Don points to the screen and goes, check this out. And it's a picture of Kenny Omega laid out backstage. He's dead. And so when the heels start attacking Ospreay after the match, they remind us, oh man, Kenny ain't going to be here. He's been killed. But then Kenny's music hits, and he runs down not selling anything. And he runs wild with chair shots and takes out everybody until Fletcher and Takeshi hit the ring. And then they beat down Kenny Omega. And so they beat down the heels. Don gets some licks in. They celebrate together. They play their music.
Double tombstone.
Yep, they hit the double tombstone. They play the music.
Takeshi on Omega and Fletcher on Will.
And after they play the music, they suddenly stop playing the music, and the heels attack them again. And they beat them up a little bit more. And then they play the music again. And then Kenny goes after Takeshi. They stop the music. The heels beat him down for the third time. They then play the music for the third time. And away we go to the next segment. So that also might have been padding time because there was no Hobbs segment with Big Bill. I presume they were supposed to do like a full brawl like they did on Collision. And so that whole segment had to be cut out.
So you do an injury angle where Omega is laid out in the back, and then he comes out not selling anything? And then we have a beatdown, music, beatdown, music, beatdown, music. What the fuck is this idiot thinking? And by idiot, I mean Tony Khan. Because regardless if Dave can sit there and go, there isn't a booker. It isn't a booker. That's what Dave does. He flip-flops. 1 minute, there is no booker. Next minute, everything goes through Tony. That's what Tony does. It's okay. We should just accept the WCW 2000 level stuff. How in the blue hell are you going to do an injury angle? Come out, no selling it. Then get beat down again. It makes no sense. This whole thing makes no sense. Tony Khan, the snowman, the cokehead, if there were any doubts in your mind that this guy's on something, maybe not cocaine, but he's on Ritalin or Prozac or whatever the frick they're giving people nowadays, it's just sad. It's really, really sad. I've been saying it since day one that this is sad, and it's only gotten worse. It's gotten worse. I didn't think it could get any worse. It's gotten worse. It has gotten absolutely horrible. I didn't even watch the show. And to hear these guys describe it, it's a total clusterfuck. This Money Mark has no idea what he's doing. Oh, it worked good in the eFed, or it worked on the TEW booking app, booking game, whatever I had. It worked with my action figures. It made sense with my action figures. I mean, come on, dude. No wonder you're failing. And no wonder I give it a year. I will tell you this. I give it I'll say 2 years. I'll give it 2 more years. And WBD is going to look at this and go, damn, well, we sold a bill of goods. Jeez. Meltzer wants to talk about the Saturday night main event ratings and about how 1.4 million was probably not what NBC was expecting. Dude, do you honestly think that WBD was expecting 200,000 people to watch Collision? That's TNA numbers. It's TNA numbers. They're doing TNA numbers. TNA is doing probably better ratings than they are. No wonder. You know what? I hope. He says that the reason why WWE is working with TNA is so that TNA could get those markets that were taken away from, when WWE moved to Netflix. He thinks that TNA and WWE are trying to prevent AEW from getting those spots on those stations in those markets like India. I hope they do. I hope to God that this blocks AEW's worldwide presence. Yes, people out there, I've changed my mind. From a wrestler standpoint, guys, I'm sorry you put your faith in a money mark. I'm sorry you signed on the dotted line. Take what you can now, guys. People like Adam Copeland, John Moxley, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, even though they're all EVPs. Women out there like Deonna Purrazzo, Ruby Riott, or Ruby Soho. Okay? Take what Britt Baker even though she's, kind of gone. Take what you can from this guy now. Bleed him dry. Because from 2 years from now, I hope it doesn't exist. I'm going to say it. I'm not like all these other damn shills out there who protect their access. I have no access to these idiots. I want no access to these idiots. I hope and I pray that this guy fails. I hope and I pray that you get every penny out of this guy now, and that 2 years from now, when WBD says enough is enough, that you all get sent back to the Indies or Japan where you fucking belong. Or you daggone hit your knees and go crawling back to goddamn WWE, because it's where you belong. There's a reason why WWE is and always will be the industry standard, because, as Jim Cornette said, the people who know how don't have the money, and the people who have the money don't know how. We got lucky. We got lucky. I'm not saying Vince McMahon's a good guy, because it turns out he's not. Okay, we all knew he wasn't, but we got lucky that in the late 70s, early 80s, that a man who had money or barely and took a gamble on not having that money, and who knew what he was doing. We found somebody who had the money and had the know-how, and we got to where we are today. Say what you want about the son of a bitch, but we're here today. I'm here today talking about pro wrestling because of Vince McMahon. It boggles my mind how a man with the money can't put his own ego aside and go, I need help. He can't go find somebody. Hell, I'd rather watch Vince Russo's booking than this. It's gotten to that point. I'd rather watch Russo. Bro, come back, bro. You need to get on a good You need to get on a good bro-lationship with is that a word? Bro-lationship. Yeah, it's a word. I made it up. You need to become bros with the snowman. I don't care what you got to do. Invite him to Colorado and get Rocky Mountain High with him, if you know what I mean. But, bro, we need you back, bro, because your stuff, the Crash TV, was better, bro. Jeez, man. Let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong for saying this? Am I wrong for putting over Vince? Both Vinces, Vince Russo and Vince McMahon? Would you rather sit through? I'd rather sit through WCW 2000 than this. This is lower than WCW 2000. The matches aren't even that good anymore. Bro. Let me know what you think in the comments below. We'll see you down the road.